All right, welcome back. So today I want to give you the complete formula, the complete blueprint that I've been using over the last 3 weeks that's allowed me to drop almost 3 kg in 3 weeks since I started back into taking my fitness seriously again and get myself back on track. It's really important to note before I start going into this that I've done all this by training only 3 days a week, by working 48 hours a week in my full-time job, while also working an extra 20 to 30 hours a week in my online coaching business. I've also been able to spend loads of time with my daughter, which is the most important thing in the world for me. And myself and my partner have grown closer and closer over the time since my energy levels have increased inside the first 3 weeks. So I want to give you the full breakdown of exactly how I'm doing it. The goal for me is to get into the best shape of my life for my wedding in April 2026. So we're about 2.5 months away from that now, and I'm already on the way to getting to where I want to go. So let me break it down for you here, and I'll show you exactly how I've done it. So the first thing that I've started with is just my roadmap, my timeline. The thing that if I didn't have this, I wouldn't know if I'm on track, if I'm off track, if I need to make changes, if anything needs to be done. This is the thing that I use, and I use it with every single one of my clients inside the Life Lift Repeat project when they first come on board, that basically says, Gavin, if you do this, you get this result. And this is the first thing that I will use for everything. I don't start into a fitness journey unless I know for a fact that I know what I'm doing and I know why I'm doing it for a reason. So I sat down and I spent maybe half an hour to 45 minutes just planning out exactly what it is I wanted to do, what the goal was. I used the goal setting calculator to tell me where I want to go, which would be take myself to 10% body fat, which is in and around this one here. I was starting off at around 25%, probably not in the best shape I've ever been in my life. And this gave me just a rough estimate or a timeline of how long it would take me to get to that shape. Now, listen, the date for the goal is in and around the 13th of April. I'll be sitting at around this weight. I won't be at my target weight. I probably won't even be sitting at that weight, but it just gives me an idea of where I could potentially end up if everything goes to plan and it moves in the direction that I want it to do. Now, it's really important to note that I haven't actually obsessed over my food. Over the first week or two, I did track relentlessly to make sure that I was eating the right foods and I was 100% spot on. But I haven't really tracked my food on MyFitnessPal in the last week, literally just because I eat the same foods all the time now. I know exactly what I'm eating. And I'm not restricting myself massively with my calories either. I'm giving myself 2,466 calories a week with loads of carbs, so I'm not cutting out bread or anything like that. I literally just follow a structure. When I wake up first thing in the morning, I eat my breakfast, small breakfast. Usually I'll bring overnight oats with me to work. And on my first break in work, I'll have my overnight oats. On my second break in work, I'll have my lunch, which is usually chicken wraps. Pretty much the same every day, same amount of mayonnaise. Everything is the exact same. Everything is weighed out. And when I get home, I'm very, very lucky. My partner cooks dinner for us, and we kind of stick to the same dinners every week, which she will usually prep on a Sunday, and I try my best to help when I'm not in work or when I'm not doing stuff around the house. But we work as a team, which makes things absolutely like massively move the needle massively for you. So definitely having someone there to help is massive as well. So that's the first thing I do. I set out what it is I'm going to do over the next couple of weeks to get to the goal, right? So I'm in a full fat loss phase. I just want to drop body fat. That's my whole goal. I'm not trying to build a huge amount of muscle. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. I literally just want to drop some body fat so that I look good and feel good in my suit. Simple as. So this is the plan. I can change this as I go through the process as well, which is what I'll do for a lot of my clients. For instance, like I'm not really on track at the moment. I've fallen off track a little bit this week, not by a massive amount, but I'm not at my target weight, average weight for the week. So maybe I might make a small change to my calories this week, maybe not. It just depends. I might just see how it goes and we can change it if and when needs be. I also haven't spent a huge amount of time doing extra work. I've literally trained, I know it says 4 days here, but I've actually only been training 3 days a week, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing with my training now as well. And I've relentlessly tracked everything I've done with my training to make sure that I'm making progress with my training. And contrary to popular belief, you will see a lot of people when they go on a fitness journey, they think they need to spend loads of time in the gym. I've literally done the 3 days in the gym. I'll do my session and then I'll do a half an hour of cardio, and that is it. 3 days a week is all I've done in the gym. I spend an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 minutes in the gym over 3 days a week. That is it. I'm out, I'm done, I'm home, and I'm recovering. My step target as well has actually been 10,000 steps. But if I show you on my daily habits, because I've logged every single day whether I've hit my steps or not, most of the time I don't even get my 10,000 steps. And I've still been able to drop this level of body fat. No, I have a very sedentary job when I'm working. I'm sat at a desk for 12 hours straight. So I could come out of work after working like a 5 to 5 shift, and I'd only have maybe 800 or 900 steps across the whole of the total day. That leaves me with a huge surplus of steps to make up in the evening, which it can be very, very hard and very, very demotivating to get out of work and have to make up 9,000 steps. So most of the time I don't, but I do always set to my non-negotiable every single evening, which is half an hour on my walking pad, which I have at home, which allows me to increase my activity just enough to be able to get to the goal. And that's the first lever that I can pull if I need to, is just increase the amount of activity that I'm doing on my days off, which I have been doing recently. I've been hitting my 10K steps on my days off from work, even though I would technically still do a little bit of work here on the Saturday, say, inside my online coaching business. So to give you a brief overview of how I'm making this all work, because a lot of people will say to me, Gavin, how do you have time to do all that? How are you not ever at home with your daughter? You're never at home with your partner. I have plenty of time with my daughter and my partner. We spend lots of time together. We go for places. We go places away, and we're planning a wedding as well, which can restrict time too. But I want to show you exactly how I do it. So every single Sunday, I will sit down and I will plan out my week in advance, and I know exactly what is happening. All right, we're very, very privileged that we're able to have someone in our family, like the two nannies, my mother and my partner Lorraine's mother, are very helpful with Grace, and they do help out with our daughter and look after her, which definitely makes life a lot easier for both of us. But what I do at the start of every week is my work schedule never really changes that much. Sometimes I'll work 5 to 2, sometimes I'll work 5 to 5, and I'll just update that, and it just repeats in my calendar every single week. No matter what happens, it just repeats over and over and over again in my calendar. So that's the first thing that I do to make sure that I have time for everything, is I plan my whole week around what I'm currently working. The next thing I'll do is I always put my non-negotiables in there, which is my training. And I have training in here 3 days a week, and I fit it in wherever the fuck I can fit it in. So I would have trained yesterday on Monday, and I was lucky enough to be able to get in and get a shower after. Then I'm going to train on Thursday and Friday, and that'll be my 3 sessions done for the week. I'll recover the fuck out of it. But what's really important to note is like this evening routine. I haven't actually put it in this week, but I had it in last week just to give you a quick idea of what it looks like. I'll literally, depending on what is coming up in my business in the evening, because sometimes I will run my business in the evenings after a long day of work, I will literally have a very strict evening routine where I'll walk on the treadmill for half an hour, prep my meals. It doesn't usually take me half an hour, but it gives me a little bit of a buffer for the evening. I like to read 10 pages of a book before I go to bed, and I'll be in bed by 8:45. So a bit of boring life, but this is literally how I am able to have time. Like, you can see all this time that I have with my daughter Grace. I spend it pretty much religiously. I don't work during this time. I'm very rarely on my phone during this time. Same in the evenings after work when I pick up Grace. I even have time in here to go wedding tasting. I protect that time. That is family time, and I get the very most out of it that I can. So when I'm not working inside work, I'm not working on my business, I'm with Grace, I'm with Lorraine, I'm spending as much possible time as I can, and I still have all this white space in here to do stuff. It also helps to, if you have a partner and they go to the gym, to actually put their training in as well and put what they're doing with their time into your own calendar, so that you can also plan around that. Because you have to remember, right, even though you're carrying a lot of stuff and you've got a lot of stuff to do and you want to prioritize your health and fitness and you want to make good progress and you want to have a good week, your partner is the same, right? Your partner wants to look after themselves. Your partner is struggling just as much, if not more than you are as well. So you need to be good to them. You need to factor in what it is exactly that they're doing as well. So one final thing I'm going to show you exactly how I've done this week, just so that you have an idea. I'm going to show you exactly what I've done with my workouts. So I've been religious, right? Obviously, I'm not logging my nutrition in here at the moment. I do log it in MyFitnessPal sporadically throughout the week if I change the meals that I'm eating throughout the day. But at the moment, I'm kind of set and I know what I'm eating. So I don't necessarily need to spend loads and loads of time just logging my food. But with my workouts, I always log my workouts religiously. And I've been following a push-pull legs program for the last couple of weeks. So I started really taking it seriously on around the 8th of January. So it's been maybe 4 weeks of consistent training now. And this just gives me an idea. So it tells me exactly how long my workouts are. This is the app that I use for my clients. I just loaded myself as a client into it. It tells me exactly how long my workouts are. And as you'll notice, my workouts have become more efficient the more that I've done them, because I'm able to get more done in a short amount of time, because I'm able to push myself a little bit harder. So my workouts have been shorter, which is always a massive bonus. But what you'll also notice is when I come down to the bottom at the total volume, most weeks my total volume has increased, which is usually what you're optimizing for when you're in a building phase. I'm trying to build some muscle while dropping body fat because it's the best way to drop body fat. And that's kind of what's been happening in here. So that's on the push day. On the pull day, I log it religiously as well. Exactly the same. The 10th, the 18th, 23rd, and 31st of January. 4 weeks in a row. I've been in the gym. And again, look, total volume might have dropped a little bit here, and it does drop every now and again, but it's, for the most part, it's progressively increasing every single week, which is exactly what I'm trying to do with it. And then same on the legs. I don't skip leg days. They're very important days. And as you'll notice, my leg days have increased in total volume every single week. I really love training my legs. It's a really good way to get the heart rate up, and you burn a lot more calories in leg days than you would in an upper body day. And that is it. That is simply all I've done to get myself from 94 kg to 91.3 kg in the last 3 weeks. Only 3 weeks in. It's starting to become like a habit now. It's starting to become automatic. If I miss the gym, I feel a little bit shitty about myself. I haven't missed the gym yet, but I know that I will. I'm not smashing out 10,000 steps every single day or even anywhere close to it. To be honest, I'd say my average daily steps at the moment is probably around 6,000. And I'm not completely reinventing the wheel with anything I'm doing with my nutrition. I've been able to actually go out. I've been able to have dinner out a couple of times, and I know in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, I've got my stag coming up, I've got my best friend's stag coming up, I've got my wedding obviously coming up, I've got other weddings coming up in between, I've got loads of stuff coming up over the next couple of months. And if I had said, right, well, I'm not going to sort this now because all of that stuff is coming up, then I never would have been able to get myself started. Now I have the starter part done. A stag is what, 3 days I'm going to lose out on, and I can get straight back on it on Monday. A wedding is 2 days. I'll lose out on that and I'll get straight back on it on Monday. In the grand scheme of things, if I look at between now and my goal, I probably have something like 70 odd days to get to my goal. But if I take out all the days that I'm going to be drinking, all the days that I'm going to be at stags, all the days that I'm going to be doing stuff for my wedding, all of that stuff, if I take that all out of the next 2.5 months, it's probably only like 12 days out of 200 and something days. Well, probably not 200 days, but it's probably 12 days out of like 90 days. There's still all of them other days I can make massive progress on, which is exactly what I'm currently trying to do. So it's all about not being perfect, right? You don't have to be perfect. It's imperfect action and taking imperfect action. This is very much just the start for me, but this is the framework that I'm following. And this is what I'd love you to be able to get into the habit of doing. I give this framework to every single one of my clients inside the Life Lift Repeat project. This is what we do on the onboarding call. We build out their master sheet together so that they know exactly what they're doing every single week, so that they know where they're going. We'll give them calories, we give them macros, we tell them what to do with their food. And this is exactly how you get to your goal without all the added stress of, I don't really know if I want to get to that goal or not because I don't know how to fucking do it. So that's all from me today. I'm going to keep it nice and short, nice and sweet. Hopefully that's been helpful. Hopefully that gives you the basis that you need to get started with your health and fitness. If January hasn't been a fantastic month for you, that is okay. You still have February and the rest of the year to make a massive change. If you want help making this, if you want to implement any of this, if you want to implement the roadmap for you and I can show you how it can work, just drop me a message on Instagram. We can have a conversation. I can show you exactly how we can get you to your goal, literally mapped out on a page like this. More than happy to do it any day. But for now, thank you very much for listening along. I appreciate you all massively. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon. All the best.